Latest world sports. Football. Ryan Giggs. Ex-Man United star cleared over former girlfriend charges. The former Manchester United footballer and ex-Wales manager Ryan Giggs has been cleared of allegations he assaulted his ex-girlfriend and her sister. It comes after charges were withdrawn by the Crown Prosecution Services (CPS) at a hearing at Manchester Crown Court. Mr. Giggs, 48, has always denied assault and controlling or coercive behavior towards Kate Greville, 38, and assaulting her sister Emma. Judge Hilary Manley directed that he was not guilty on all 3 counts. The retrial had been due to start at Manchester Crown Court on 31st July. Jurors failed to reach verdicts following more than 20 hours of deliberations after his 4-week trial in August last year. Mr. Giggs was not in court on Tuesday as the judge had agreed he did not need to attend. Prosecutor Peter Wright Casey told Manchester Crown Court that the CPS were not now proceeding with the case. He said Kate Greville had indicated an unwillingness to give evidence in a retrial as giving evidence in the first one had taken its toll on her and her sister. Mr. Wright said, "This is not a decision taken lightly. In this case, Ms. Greville and her sister Emma gave evidence over a number of days in a case when there was considerably media and public interest, and it is that particularly that's taking its toll on them, in particular, Kate Greville." Mr. Wright said there had been protracted efforts to find out why she was unwilling to cooperate with a second trial, but prosecuting lawyers did not think it appropriate to issue a witness summons to compel her to give evidence for a second time. He said there was no realistic prospect of conviction on count 1 of coercive and controlling behavior, and it was no longer in the public interest to proceed to prosecute on the other charges of assault on Ms. Greville and her sister. He added, "That being the case, we formally offered no evidence on counts 1, 2, and 3. Olympics. Commonwealth Games. 2026 event in doubt after Victoria cancels. The 2026 Commonwealth Games are in doubt after the Australian state of Victoria cancelled its plan to host due to budget blowouts. The Commonwealth Games Federation, CGF, struggled to find a host before Victoria volunteered in April 2022. But the Premier said the projected cost had now tripled and become well and truly too much for the state to bear. CGF called the decision hugely disappointing and said it is committed to finding a solution. The Commonwealth Games are a multi-sport tournament that take place every 4 years. They have only ever been cancelled during World War II. To be eligible to participate in the Games, competitors must be from one of the Commonwealth's 56 members. Most of the countries in the Commonwealth were once part of the British Empire. Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews on Tuesday said Victoria had been happy to help out when approached to host last year, but not at any price. Organizers had originally estimated the event, hosted across cities including Geelong, Bendigo, and Ballarat, would cost $2.6 billion Australian dollars, £1.4 billion pounds, $1.8 billion American dollars, and the state government had billed it as a boost for the regions. But now the 12-day tournament was expected to cost more than $6 billion Australian dollars, Mr. Andrews said, adding that the figure was more than twice the estimated economic benefit it will bring to Victoria. "I've made a lot of difficult calls, a lot of very difficult decisions in this job. This is not one of them," he told a press conference. "That is all cost and no benefit. The government will still complete the stadium upgrades it had promised ahead of the Games, while using the money it is now saving on housing and tourism initiatives." Mr. Andrews said the government had considered every option, including moving the Games to Melbourne, before informing CGF of their decision. Amicable and productive meetings had occurred in London overnight, he added. But in a statement on Tuesday, the governing body said they were blindsided by the decision. "We are disappointed that we were only giving 8 hours notice and that no consideration was given to discussing the situation to jointly find solutions," it said in a statement. CGF said the estimate of $6 billion Australian dollars is double the figure they were advised of at a board meeting last month, and that the increase in costs were due to the unique regional delivery model that Victoria chose for the Games. The government had made decisions to include more sports and changed plans for venues, often against the advice of the CGF and its Australian arm. all of which added considerable expense, it said. Victorian opposition leader John Pesutto said the decision is a massive humiliation for the state and hugely damaging for its reputation as a global events leader. The chief executive of Commonwealth Games Australia agreed, saying the cited cost blowout was a gross exaggeration and that it would try to find another Australian host for the 2026 Games. Australia has held the Commonwealth Games 5 times, including on the Gold Coast in 2018 and in the Victorian capital of Melbourne in 2006, but all of the country's states on Tuesday ruled out picking up the event. New Zealand authorities also say they will not take on the Games. Organizers have had great difficulty finding viable tournament hosts in recent years. The South African city of Durban was originally set to stage the 2022 Games, but were stripped of hosting rights in 2017 after running into money troubles and missing key deadlines. Birmingham agreed to host 9 months later. CGF had originally hoped to name a host for the 2026 Games in 2019, but several hopeful bidders withdrew from the process due to cost concerns, leaving it unable to lock in Victoria as the hosts until 2022. Gab Ellison reporting for Undaunted, ABC Amba News.